19, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Lee.
Councilman Scringy.
Present.
Councilman Livingston.
Present.
Councilwoman Kranz.
Present.
Councilman Taylor.
Present.
Councilman Papstrap.
Present.
I believe Councilman Mazzo's on his way, and President Scanlon.
Present.
That's 6 here with 1 absent, Mazzo.
Okay, welcome, Trish. Why don't you tell us about RL 19-163, please?
Yes, I'm looking for approval of the supervisor's contract with the Teamsters. It's a 4-year contract for 2019, 20, 21, and 22. For financials, we've got a 2.25% increase for each year of the contract, which is $68,000 total. There's 13 supervisors in the contract in the parks, water, sewer, and DPW. In addition, they will be increasing their health insurance contributions from 17% to 20% over the term of the contract, which is an additional approximately $35,000 more that the city would get. So I guess you could call it a savings.
How much was that number, Trish?
For the health insurance,
Yeah.
$35,000.
Thank you.
And we did negotiate an increase in the safety clothing allowance, and that would go up an additional $100 a year, so that would be $1,300 a year, $4,200 total for the contract. Those were only the only financial changes in the contract. There were a few language changes. One of them was we had the language for, again, snow overtime clarified as to how the call-out procedure would work for supervisors, such that now it's very clear in the contract. Before, it just was not clear and was not working.
Questions or comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, how would you characterize the discussions around this agreement and your feelings towards the final result?
I thought the discussions were good. I mean, we had some good discussions on the whole snow plan, on comp time, and we were able to talk about them and get them resolved. I thought it was a good contract.
So you feel good about it?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, Trish.
Thank you, Trish, very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Hi, Bernice.
Hello,
Tell us
how are you?
about 19-159. We're well, thank
So this we're requesting to move funds from the personnel services from the signal department, which is under the electrician. And that's going to move to vehicle parts and refuse to fund. We need to replace 2 long block motors on 2 of our garbage trucks.
you. Trish, how old are those trucks?
These ones are 9 to 11 years old. These are the ones that we are actually replacing these ones eventually, but they're not, the motors we have right now aren't going to last that long.
All right, thank you.
I should say the Mazzo arrived at 6:03.
Other questions or comments on this?
Oh, I'm sorry, this is from the laborers line. The other one's from my electrician line. This is coming from the laborers line in the personnel services, I'm sorry.
Okay. Questions or comments on that? Okay, Bernice, why don't you tell us 19160, please?
This one is the personnel services, the electrician, and we're transferring that money to pay for the installation of audible signals at the intersection of Court and Water.
Questions or comments on this? Okay, Bernice, on to 166, please.
This is to accept a federal grant to pay for work that was done on Heiner Road and Fairview as part of the flooding that happened last year.
Questions or comments on this? Okay, Bernice, we're all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernice, very much. Thanks, Bernice.
Senator for Fire Chief Eggleston.
Mr. Fire Marshal.
Tell us about 19157, please, Al.
Okay, this is it's a request for a one-year extension of a contract for ambulance billing with the company Internetics. I don't know if you're aware, but we run about 10,000 calls a year. About 8,000 of them are EMS. I believe our ambulance transports approximately 3,200, 3,500 of these calls, and this company collects revenues, which is around 700,000. I think they're annually get about 5.9% of it, is my understanding. So, they've been doing actually a good job, and we recently upgraded some software, so it integrates now with our EPCR system, so it's much more efficient collecting money, and they're doing a great job from what my understanding from the town show.
Any questions or comments on this?
Yeah, I think we've been with this company for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
The original contract was in 2014 for 3 years. This would be the second one-year renewal.
And we haven't heard any complaints about it.
No issues at all.
So,
Was this a standard like 3-year contract with 2 possibilities to renew for 1 year more, or?
It was 3 years, and that's why it comes back
back,
for renewal
yeah,
each year.
okay.
Yeah, it didn't have it didn't have a built-in renewal,
Got it.
otherwise we wouldn't come back.
Thank you.
I wish I had more to say than the fire marshal, but that's it.
Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry, you gonna take care of Chief Sikorsky or is? Oh,
I'll do it.
okay. RL 19-165.
Hey, Lieutenant.
I'm Dave Goodall, I'm a lieutenant with Binghamton. I also run the Crime Analysis Center for DCJS. This is the DCJS GIV grant, it's GIV 6 year in a row we got it. The GIV grant pays for a field intelligence officer from the police station. It pays for a senior crime analysis for the crime center, and then it also gives $20,000 in overtime for the GIV sites, which we have 2 sites, one downtown, one on the west side. And then it also funds $4,000 in overtime for SEPTED and $4,000 in training.
Questions or
Been a
comments?
recurring grant.
Yep, this is the 6 years, 6 years of that.
Very good.
And it was before GIV, it was Impact, so just a different name. So it's been a long time.
Councilman Taylor?
Yeah, are there any restrictions or anything that the city or our department needs to agree to receive this grant?
Not for the GIV. No,
Okay.
all it does is it pays salary, pays fringe benefits, and then overtime for those.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Palmer? Go ahead if you're ready.
Okay, we were required to pay the full $15,000 for the repair of the tennis courts at Rec for the USTA event, roughly double than what we were budgeting for. And we also are committed to redo the field at Fort Ward for Binghamton School District girls softball team. And we just
Sounds great.
Why have you here? What's new with the field on the east side? Little League field.
Kim Meyer said that they're finalizing the plans. Her and whatever her engineering firms are, and she would get back to us and let us know how it's going.
Is the other
fields?
No, the other contractor, is he that started that? Is he still involved?
No.
Okay. Very good. All right, thanks. Council Livingston, go ahead.
Is Fourth Ward Park the official name of the park? It seems there's some confusion.
Well, yeah, it depends on who you ask, I guess. West End would be another name for it.
Because they just did like a big mural on
Yeah.
on there that says West End. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's one of the same.
Any questions or comments? Thank you, Paul.
All right, thank you.
Man, we got questions for you.
Oh, boy.
Tell us about 19-168, please.
Transfer of money to pay for sludge removal out of our sedimentation beds. Usually we have to clean them out twice a year. This year, because of a lot of rain and a lot of chemical usage, we have to clean them out 3 times. We can't send it down to joint sewage treatment plant anymore, so we have to treat it ourselves. And we have to get rid of it. So we could.
You put it on trucks also? Suck it out?
We have the company come in, they suck it out, they put it in a big waste container, they haul it to the landfill.
Is it cheaper for you to do it than to send it down to the wastewater treatment?
Either way, it's not cheap.
I know, but I mean, is it cheaper to?
Well, that's hard to say, because it all depends on how much sludge we get. You know, like this year we got a lot. It was about the same price when they were taking it from us. That's the cost to get it removed.
So why was the switch made originally? I was on the sewage board then years ago when the decision was made, and I remember it being, the city saying that we wanted to make the switch. Can you remind me why we decided that?
I wanted to make the switch because the price kept escalating down there. And it almost, it just kept.
There's no control over it.
Yeah, and I didn't like of their formula, the way they figured out how they billed us for it. But
So you're just uncomfortable with it, or?
well, right now they
This number
can't.
looks higher than.
Right now they can't take it because they're not set up for it. And there's always been the question that when they get fully operational, if they be able to take it. I think they can, but they really don't want to because our type of sludge kills off their type of treatment, and they don't want to have to deal with it.
Sure. So, but we have a long-term plan for this, correct?
We do, but it's costly.
In the long run, I'm assuming it's worth it though.
Well, we have to remove it no matter what. It's to get it set up so that we can handle it at the plant is $6 to $8 million long term. To remove it every spring and every fall, it's been running around $300,000, $200,000, depending on how much tonnage we have.
That's once in the spring, once in the fall?
That was a normal case. We usually would do it once in the spring and once in the fall. But this year, we had all that rain, and we had the double amount of usage with our chemicals. And the sludge just it's been adding up so fast that.
You did it 3 times.
Our basins are 18 foot deep. The sludge builds up in the first couple sections to where when you look down at it, you see like this much water. We have to remove the sludge because if we don't remove the sludge, it starts to reorganize in
Well, I'm
there.
not questioning that.
It just, we could violate the water code, so we don't want to do that. So we have to get it removed. It's very expensive. It's not equipment that we have. We have to hire a company to do it. There's like one company that we found to do it. But like I say, this year this will be like 3 times we have to do it. Because in the wintertime, well, our sluggers aren't working now anyway. And the long-term plan was to get a new system, vacuum system, that would replace the old sluggers, which are obsolete, inefficient, don't work.
And where are we with that?
That's still in the process, long term.
It's in design.
It's in design. Okay.
And
And how do other water treatment plants do this? do they have their own sludge extraction
Uh,
system? Do they pay people?
We've
like
been to
we do?
one up in Troy, and they have their own system. But Troy being close to Albany, they were able to get a grant to pay for the whole thing. We were trying.
Did we apply for some?
Yes. I think there's 3 million maybe.
Yeah, once we have the design, and part of it too is when Joey said anywhere from 6 to 8 million, making sure that it's more like 6 and not like 8.
Right.
That's what we're going through right now with our design firm. And once we have a preliminary design, there's water quality grants that are available every year, and also off-cycle. So a whole host of grant opportunities we can show that there's a payback on this as well. But it's a pretty complex design.
Well, let us know how we can help with that.
Yeah.
Questions or comments on that?
Thank you very much.
Okay, Joe, no.
Okay, you got one more.
One more, Joe. 161.
Well, that was fast, almost.
Yeah, you almost got away. Oh yes. We're trying to keep costs in reality without have to raise the sewer rates. So this is part of that.
This is where you can find a labor position.
Right.
So what is that exactly?
Well, we're decreasing the one position from a maintenance man to a laborer, which is cutting the.
How much can that cut?
Well, 5,000.
Page 15.
And that won't disturb the quality of work out that we need.
Yeah, we have nobody qualified for that position, and he needs another laborer anyway, so we just figured we would. And Chuck has been drilling me about trying to keep the budget as low as we can,
Okay.
so.
All right.
We have past precedent for this too. I mean, we've done this in parks and
Oh,
a
yeah.
number of other
Yeah.
departments, you know.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, Joe.
Did dredging bring any more sludge into the system?
What's that?
The dredging they're doing over there, has that?
No, they were on the other side of the river, so with the current, they really never affected us at all. And I think they're done over there now.
I thought they were gonna go into October.
Well, I see they moved everything, so I didn't.
Not positive.
Like a water testing over at the water treatment plant, is that happening now or is that happening after the EC dredging?
But we test the water continuously, so
It's like a.
they probably have to do their own test for that. Dredge. 'Cause that's
For-
DEC's
For us?
It was like some sort of EPA, EC test.
Right. Yeah, but I don't think that's.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had wondered at the time if it was happening in a coordinated fashion for dredging, if it was happening, the testing was gonna happen after the dredging.
Just notice.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Very good night.
Thank you, Joe.
Good luck. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Hey, Megan.
Tell us about 154, please.
Okay, this is an offer to purchase, actually 154, 155, both are for two separate parcels, again through the side lot program. Councilman Taylor, both are in your district.
Yep.
Both are green space. You'll see with 4 Amesbury, it's green space, but he also has plans for, he's asking for like a shed and a gazebo that he wants to put on his lot.
Questions or comments?
86 Pine Street, where is that exactly?
That is, so, Fairview Recovery Services is the applicant for that.
That's on Court Street.
That's on Court Street, but they have, their parking lot goes from Court to Pine. It's, like a combined parcel, I guess. Pine Street is parallel to Court there.
Yeah.
So the vacant lot on Pine Street is right next to their parking lot.
And who owns the lot on Pine Street?
The 86 Pine Street, the city does. We just demolished a building there.
That has nothing to do with the two lots behind that building that's Star Auto, right?
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, what's the address of those, that double vacant
76
lot?
and
That's
70.
76 and 78? Okay.
Yep, not related to.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
This is
We want to, yeah, what was that?
That should be part of the warranty project.
I did want to put a parking in there.
Questions or comments on 154 or 155? We're all set, Megan, thank you.
Thank you.
I got one more on here too. I got,
Oh, I'm sorry.
the next one is me also, 156.
Yeah.
To accept a grant from the Pomeroy Foundation. So earlier this year, we applied for 2 grants to the Pomeroy Foundation. They are the organization that does those blue historic landmarks that you'll see. We applied for those grants to fund those signs outside of 47 North Street, the Sturdivant House, and then the Stone Opera House as well.
Are they metal? Those metal signs that we're talking about?
Yeah, yep, they're,
Like that we have over the fire, where
That's
they...
correct. Yep, the blue
Yeah.
metallic sign,
Yeah.
with yellow lettering.
yeah. Yeah, so our office worked with Sean McGee, and both of those were approved. So, and also, I'm sorry it's not marked on here, but I'd ask that this be expedited, because we have a deadline of the end of this month to sign the letter of agreement to accept the grant.
Please make sure that's expedited, please.
Yes.
All right. Questions on 156?
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Good day. Mr. Standish, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Ray.
Think about 169, please, right?
Yes. 169 is a resolution to authorize the city to adopt the Army Corps of Engineers National Standard and the DEC State Standards for culverts. We would normally do that anyway, but as part of the permit for doing work on Heiner Road, it's required to adopt this, so.
Is this something you have to do for any project that do this, or is this like a one-time thing? Like, what is this?
Well, if you adopt this, then it becomes.
So we never have to do it again? Then?
That's correct.
Questions or comments on 169? All right, on 170, right?
170, that's a resolution allowing the mayor to enter into a professional services agreement with McFarland Johnson for engineering design for the traffic signal at Holly and South Washington. Not South Washington, just Washington. Sorry.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, what's the timeline on this, Ray? I mean, I know this is just design, but...
It would be constructed next year.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Other questions or comments? Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
Can I ask you a question on this one, Jim?
Sorry.
Can I ask you a question on this one?
Which one?
I got the addresses.
Yeah.
Is that the resolution for the sale?
Yes. Yes.
All right, tell us about 158, please.
You don't recall in February of this year, we approved the sale of various lots, Jerry has the list, the Family Enrichment Network.
Yep.
Right? They're now getting to the point where they're doing their grants, they're getting their ducks in a row. One of the things that is a not-for-profit, they would not be required to pay taxes, but since the city is giving them these properties for $1 a piece, they have offered to pay $8,000 a year, and that would be revisited every 10 years.
So
it's a pilot. This is not through the IDA. This is simply a straightforward agreement between the Family Enrichment Network and the city.
is this
properties?
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry, how many properties?
Seven.
Do you recall what they were?
I've got them right here, Chris.
I don't remember.
27, 29, and 31 Virgil Street. This is on the corner of Virgil and Liberty. 125, 127, 128, and 130 Liberty Street.
And the city's also allocated $100,000 in the planning funds towards the construction.
Well, okay, this is the construction for the
Homeless
yes.
housing. Yep.
When are they supposed to break ground in this? Do we know, Jared?
Before the end of this construction season, they're working through some MWBE and disabled veteran requirements from the state contractor, OTDA. But I talked to their contractor last week, and they hope to get things moving in September.
If you approve the pilot, they're hoping that they'll get their grant and we can close on this later this week.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Councilman Livingston.
I'm curious, is there a precedent for doing a pilot in this way with a non-profit? It's interesting to me, I've never heard of this before. I mean, in the city.
The
not
city,
like
they try to
anywhere.
negotiate them whenever they can. In this case, the city was conveying the property to them, so there's a little more opportunity to negotiate.
and opportunities for room-based pilots. for the city.
Yeah, I think OFB does.
Kind of the number 8,000. How was that come up with?
It was recommended by the FEN, and because they didn't have to pay any taxes or any pilot.
This is very different.
It's not a tough negotiation.
First Ward Action Council pays pilots.
They do. I've never heard of a nonprofit paying a pilot. I haven't been in this board that long, but
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really curious. First of all, I think it's great that there are actually nonprofits that are actually looking to pay into the system in some way, because according to their 501c3 status, hypothetically, in the absence of this, they would be paying nothing. Right? So this is a genuine revenue generator in and of itself. I'm just curious as to why this categorically falls under the pilot category.
They're not paying taxes. The rate is set.
Right.
It will be that rate for the next 10 years. So in order for that to be the case, the city has to formulate an agreement
Right.
by this council. So it is, in fact, a payment in lieu of the taxes.
Yeah, I guess on a technicality, because of their 501c3 status, technically their tax bill would be $0
So a lot of not-for-profit housing pays pilots.
Yeah.
Ken, go ahead.
But it's not.
Ken, go ahead. You were mentioning who else pays on?
No, I'm just looking at my list here. It says Binghamton Housing Authority, dating back to like 1981, OFB. Just kind of looking down the list. Those were the first two that just popped right up.
First Ward Action Council.
Yeah, there's another, OFB's, there's like 5 or 6 of them. Binghamton Housing Authority has at least 2 of them.
Have none of those pilots run out, quote unquote, so to speak, in terms of time? Because I don't think at least.
No, because they're not like the normal pilot where you're going through the IDA.
Right.
And you're doing certain improvements and you're not being taxed on those improvements. And
Right.
the payments are increasing over time.
Right.
And then they go away.
Right.
Because after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years,
You
whatever
build
the
up
length
to that
of the pilot is,
100%,
you build
right.
up to it and you're getting 100%. And the
Right.
point is to encourage development. This isn't like that.
Correct. But
So it has no, as long as the property is used for this purpose, the pilot will continue.
But did I misunderstand? Did someone say this had a 10-year timeline on it?
It will be revisited.
Revisited. The amount will be revisited every 10 years.
Are the amounts on other pilot agreements for other nonprofits, do they have sunset clauses that look at the
It's not a
revision?
sunset, it's a revisit, and yes, Scott sent me one, which is what we use as the template, but I don't remember which
Okay,
property
all right.
it was.
Okay. Thank you.
I know that, not necessarily a straight not-for-profit, but I think Woodburn Court, actually a few years ago, it was a 15-year. So it was a 30 total, but after 15 years, it got renegotiated.
So that revision on the 10-year mark is not for the potential expiration of the pilot, but for the amount.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Got a couple more here. Yep. 167.
Sure. Oakland County Planning Department requested that City Council pass a resolution adopting 2019 Oakland County Hazard Mitigation Plan update. There is a prescribed draft resolution that FEMA is looking for, and there's been extensive public outreach as part of this. And the full kind of in-depth layered plan is available on the county website. I inquired if we needed to have a public hearing as part of this in terms of FEMA standards, and the planner from the county said no. The public outreach meetings to create the project are acceptable. So this was a request, and they need to submit, we need to submit this to FEMA in concert with Broome County before the end of September.
Questions or comments on this? Okay, Jared, on RL 19-171.
Sure. At last week's Dick's Sporting Goods Open, the Dick's Foundation presented a $10,000 donation to Binghamton Parks Department to support youth programming. This was done a check presentation, of course, and Parks Department's been working with the Myers family and the Stack family to get private support of our sports programs.
Great. That's a great thing. Yes, Councilor.
It says that we're increasing 2 lines by $10,000, but one we're receiving $10,000 in donation.
So one of them is a revenue line, which is the gifts and donations, and then the corresponding expenditure line.
Suspended.
Yep. Okay, keep that budget at 0.
Questions or comments on this? 19-172, Jared.
Okay. In a similar fashion and a lot more fanfare, on Friday, 50 kids from the Binghamton Youth Football Program, boys and girls, went to MetLife Stadium as part of an invitation by the New York Giants, and were able to participate in pregame ceremonies, play a scrimmage at halftime, and as part of that, the Giants Foundation also provided the Binghamton Youth Football with a $10,000 donation to help with equipment. We provide these services for free, and the Giants organization is looking to expand their community impact projects up here in New York State, in upstate, and we're happy to see what the city was doing in terms of its youth sports, and gave us the invite. So certainly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
How'd that all come about? Do you know?
Yeah, so the community relations point person for the New York Giants is an Ithaca College graduate, and they every summer look to do community outreach like many NFL teams do, and I don't think it ever really been in this part of New York State, and so certainly a lot of Giants fans in Binghamton. I'm sure there's some Giants fans in this room, so they wanted to do their part to support youth sports. NFL is a big Play 60 program. So they made a call to our Parks Department. They called us and said, how would your kids like to play at halftime at MetLife Stadium? And we said we'll do whatever we can to get them down there.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Did they realize that this is a big Giants fan club up here?
I'm sure they have metrics, demographics, but I think it was more just that when they look around the state, and certainly downstate, there's very few municipalities that provide free youth sports. Usually there's some type of huge fee to play football or other organized sport. So it was great. There's some photo galleries online.
Great. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Questions or comments on this? Thank you, Jared.
All Pats fans, we're Jets fans.
Should we take a stop?
Maybe we'll bring the Jets back.
Okay, Lee, we're on to you.
All right. So we're just moving $177 out of the clerk's office travel and training line. We're moving that into our dog patrol office, dog patrol officer budget, so that he can take a trip down to, there's a conference down in Nassau County in September he wants to go to. It's hosted by their DA's office and the Humane Society and a few other organizations down there.
Cool.
Okay.
Is that just for job training or?
Yeah, it's part of his continuing education.
Yeah.
Questions or comments on that?
Thank you.
No?
All right, Leon, the pending legislation, please.
Okay. We have the retirement payout in the parks budget.
Oh, geez. Sorry.
The budget transfer for the athletic supply line.
Sorry.
Adjusting the personnel services budget line for the refuse budget. And
I heard him wrong.
the IMA, for the first floor senior
Well, it's
center.
me.
Hearing problems.
That's it?
Plus what sex
Extra
judge.
guys.
What are the two?
We have
Well, 4 now.
4 now.
2 from Ray, the pilot that we just talked about, and Megan just asked for that grant
Right.
for the historic.
Yes.
So,
Council members, go ahead.
I just was curious, because a couple of weeks ago, we had a couple people come from the community complaining about noise and wind from Bates Troy. I've heard back that some of those things have gotten better. I guess I was curious to know, because there are a lot of folks here, my colleagues, who said that they might reach out to Bates Troy. I was wondering, what, if anything, you might have done, and what you might have heard.
Yeah,
from
I
them.
reached out to Brian Cragen, and he had people go to those properties, pick up any lint. He says he's gonna do that on a weekly basis, if not more. The noise from the fans was, I don't know, was a broken part or a broken belt that they said that they repaired, and that was where most of the noise was coming from. And as far as the hours, sometimes they ran at, depending on how the shifts go, they weren't running all night long. They might run a half hour, 45 minutes late, and that's pretty much how. If they saw people there past that midnight hour, that's usually what it was. When they were trying to run a third shift.
Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I walk my dog around there, and I'm either like really late at night at like 11:30 or midnight, or I'm an early riser at 4:30 in the morning, and it's been quiet. I haven't seen anything on the ground since, so the follow-up was very good.
Yeah, and he's willing, he was very concerned about it.
Yeah, he was.
Anybody have anything else? Take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.